Welcome back to the Inting Podcast. This is episode 19.
I think we're 19 or 20.
19.
We lost track. If you're listening to if you're listening
Talking to the fucking microphone.
all right, I'm sorry. Yeah, I think we're at 19. We're about to hit
Yeah.
19. So a lot of things happen. Well, we usually record on Monday, but right now we're recording on Thursday because circumstances. So if you're listening to this is a Thursday on March 3rd right now.
Been 2 days since the latest Valorant patch.
Have you played much or no? Not yet.
I played yesterday.
How was that?
I was playing with you, so I guess you know how that went.
I know, but for you, how you like everything else, like the flow and things?
I have to say, I really do like the Brim stim beacon. I think it's fucking hilarious. You get a little antsy with that shit though.
Bro, I didn't know this, but apparently that's in Spike Rush. There's an orb in Spike Rush.
Yeah, that gives you increased movement speed.
Almost like they just added that and they just put it into Brim,
Yeah.
which is fucking hilarious. So actually, let's go over the patch notes. Let's pull it up real quick.
You want to scroll through?
Yeah. Alrighty. So we're gonna start. This is patch 4.04. So this is the new act and everything. And we're gonna start with the Omen. So the Omen got a massive update, buff. So we're gonna start with his. What is it? Oh, we're gonna start with his
smokes.
So his cooldown, now he throws it every 30 seconds instead of 40. His cost is now increased though, from 100 to 150, and his projectile speed, it goes from 2800 to 6400.
Yeah, so there's.
It goes fucking quick.
It's.
I think
It's twice as fast.
Yeah, it's twice, almost triple as fast. So yeah, it goes like instantly. I think his the distance where you can throw is still the same. They haven't changed that.
But now it comes out a lot quicker.
Yeah, so you can throw faster. And then his shroud step, they decreased it by 50, so it's now 100. And now his teleporter went from 1 second to 0.07. So or 0.7. So it actually feels like it's faster because I played him and it's gotten me out of situations because of how fast it is. It feels almost instantly, but I think just Omen himself is great. And then his Paranoia. So let me explain how the Paranoia work, how they change it. So imagine you're next to me and I throw my flash, you would get accidentally flashed with it.
Yeah.
But now if you're next to me and I flash, you won't get flashed. You only get flashed if you're in front of me now.
Is it more? Did they just move the box up, or does it come out in like a cone now?
So no, everything's the same. It's just like they fixed it where like it doesn't really like if you're on the side of him, like they made like a little bit of a delay if you're on the side, but if you're on the front, you're fine.
Okay.
Only for teammates, I believe it says. Actually, no, never mind. It's for everybody.
Yeah.
So, in my opinion, this is now Omen is 100% now better. He's actually playable in my opinion.
Yeah.
For the most part, I think everything is fine. I think the Brimstone though, he got the biggest buff out of everybody in my opinion. So it's only his smokes and his stem beacon that only got the update, but it's huge. So now,
ooh, I didn't realize they increased the area you could put it down in.
Yeah, they made it larger. So his deploy time is from 2 seconds to 1 second, which almost feels instant at this point. His deploy radius is from 5,000 to 5,500, so it's a little bit bigger. So I can go. You'll have more leniency. And then his smoke height is increased match other controllers. So like essentially, his smoke is as big as other controllers now.
Yeah.
So
it's a bigger circle.
It's very big now.
Cool.
And then his stim beacon is the biggest one that got the
assist farmer over here.
I've been playing Brim, I played him 5 games, and I have averaged at least 15 to 20 assists just throwing my stem beacon and then everyone going in.
I think that's crazy how that works.
I think they might nerf it, to be honest. 15 is crazy. It's a lot. So I think they might honestly nerf that just to bring it down to a 10. Honestly, if they give it probably a 10, maybe a 7 or that 7 to a 10 rate number, that would be a good, but 15 is kind of large. It felt like I was going twice as fast, but it was only 15%.
I think it's situational though. I think it's very strong on attack. How you've been doing your frenzy.
Oh yeah.
Strategy pistol round where you buy a frenzy, a smoke and a stim beacon, and you just run it down.
Yeah.
So like shit like that's kind of crazy, but like I don't know. I guess we'll have to see playing against it more to get some more data on that. But I think it feels good.
Because the because the thing is now is because of Astra's we'll get to her a little bit later. But because of her like cooldown being so high now, because she can only suck maybe twice around. Maybe. Right? And now that's like a long time, in my opinion. So with that, now I can just rush a site. It's like you can actually rush a site without having you can be stopped by a molly or like a cipher trip, but like you don't have to worry about an Astra suck.
Yeah.
And then with that, it's honestly because you could actually be like, let's rush a site, and you can actually rush it instead of rushing it. Let's bait Astra stuff. Okay, then we rush.
And then we rush.
It's like no, we're rushing. We actually can hold W now in this, and it feels like that because I had one game where I shit you not, the team throws a stem beacon and they rushed every round. And they got almost every single round because they just kept rushing and we couldn't stop it.
Yeah.
And they would Ferrari peak. So then like I would have to like adjust my crosshair placement just to assume where they would be. And they would still run past it. So it's like, fuck.
See, I think it's definitely like if people don't like it right now, it's because it's different. But I definitely think if people get used to it, it'll make the game more fun. Makes it a bit more fast paced.
Yeah. It's definitely like I think the pace of the game right now is a 180 of what it was in the previous patch.
Because with the controllers being so strong before, it just slowed it down.
Yeah.
It was playing at like CSGO's pace almost. And now it's now I really want to see this in pro play to see if they do any like crazy strats with it.
I think so. What I read is this patch, the 4.04, is not being played in group stage. In group stage, they're still playing on the previous patch because it's too soon for them to get adjusted. I think in the main stage they'll be playing on this patch. So that is what I've been reading. I know 100%. I don't know about the main stage one, but for 100%, they'll be playing on the previous patch just because it's like this is too big of a change. If it was like something like a small change, maybe. But if this is too big of a change, they wouldn't be playing it. So just keep that in mind. If you see them being played, if you see Astra still being played and Brim and Omen not being played, it's because they're playing on a previous patch.
Yeah.
So honestly, I think Brim got the biggest W out of everybody here.
I haven't seen Brim in so long.
Bro, it's weird playing him, right?
I love it. I love it.
It's like hearing his voice sounds like, oh shit, you're an agent in this game.
Now for the good shit.
Oh,
Astra.
She got so gutted. Okay, so we're gonna start with her stars. All right. So how the note says here, max stars. So instead of her getting 5 stars, she only has 4 now. So that's huge. Cloud on reserving a star increased from 14 to 15. Astra can now pick up place stars during a buy round to refund their charge immediately. So there was a bug before where you could buy the stars and then sell them, and then you could get a Marshall or a Stinger round 1. There was a bug, but they fixed that now. As of now, they fixed it. They fixed it because that shit was actually crazy.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. So imagine like you buying like a Stinger, like you buy someone like a Stinger armor, and then you bring
they're just a super soldier,
and then you throw a stim beacon.
It's like the Tech 9 armor shit that you do in CS:GO.
Yeah, you just Tech 9. He essentially was like a Tech 9 armor. So that's what like. But now they fixed that, so that's good. Max distance of star placement increased from 10,000 to 3,000. Allow you to place stars across furthest in the corner of the map. So essentially, she can place more stars more around the map. So yeah, it sounds like a buff, right? So right now, it's like, all right, that's not bad. Then we get to her gravity wall, what is that's the suck, I believe.
Yes.
The gravity wall is a suck. So the cooldown is now from 25 to 45. So it almost doubled the cooldown. The gravity wall size decreased, so the radius of it, it went from 500 to 250 to 475, so it's a little bit smaller. And the gravity wall no longer affects fully underneath the gravity well.
So that's like if you're in like inside the tube on bind or something, and it's put on top, it won't get you.
Yeah. So now it only affects when you're sitting on top of it, not vertically. So that's good. And now the Nova Pulse, which is the concuss, it also got a big same cooldown, which is from 25 to 45. The Nova Pulse no longer affects anyone fully underneath the Nova Pulse.
So same thing, the vertical.
Doesn't affect vertically. And the Nebula, which is the smoke, is cooldown from 14 to 25, which is big. The Nebula cooldown now sequentially instead of simultaneously, the cooldown. So what that means is, imagine you placing 2 stars, right?
And
You place it, instead of it being those 2 like being recharged same time, you only want
it's one at a time.
Yeah, so you would have to wait 25 seconds for one smoke, another 25 seconds for the other smoke, which that is huge, by the way. So that's a huge thing by that they nerfed her by that.
Now you have to be selective as to where you put shit down.
Yeah, but they did make her smoke bigger. I think her smoke right now is the biggest in the game with 475. So the thing is now you actually have to be, if you're playing Astra, you actually have to be careful on what you place. You can't just place it like randomly and be like, all right, don't worry, I can just bring it back. Like, no, there is an actual punishment.
Yeah.
So like if you bait it and then you're like, oh shit, he doesn't have anything. All right, rush. He can't do anything to us. I mean, the Astral form, like, essentially is just like, it's you can go to Astral form easier, and then like you're moving faster, and then you can just place things easier. So like the outlet of what the Astral form is just looks overall better, and it's easier to access. Essentially, that's what the Astral form is.
Updated the UI a bit, I guess. For it.
So I mean, right now, Astral feels like a low B, high C tier. From all this, and then playing against her, it feels like a low B, high C tier. She can still be viable, but not really.
She can't be by herself anymore.
Yeah, you can't just solo Astra anymore. I don't know how she's gonna be played in pro play.
I hope she isn't.
Yeah, I don't know, because a lot of people were saying that like Astra just feels gutted at this point. They just straight up cut everything. She got the biggest L so far, L plus ratio. And then Viper. So all the controllers got changed, by the way. This is a controller change. So her fuel drains increase 50% when Toxic and Poison are both active. So if you put your orb and wall,
it goes down even faster than it did before.
So you can't just delay. It's hard for you to delay on defense. It's more for like defenders to be on, or more for like offense. So if you're playing T-sided and then you're like running through and you're putting everything down, you just got to do it quick because that shit goes down fast.
Yep. They're really pushing the fast pace of this game now, because like now you only have the limited time to do shit. So
that's why it's like,
I feel like Viper Brim is going to be a bigger thing, where you Viper wall and whatever, and then you Brim stim, and you just got to run and take the site before the wall goes down.
Because like we've seen a lot of that where they just put the wall and orb and they just start shift walking real slow. It's like, damn. It's like, I mean, don't get me wrong, there's a tactic behind it, but it's just the crazy part has like, they're so slow and like tactical with it. It's like, no, it's like, oh, we're putting everything up. All right, we got to go quick. So I think a lot of teams are it's gonna be a hard adjust because Viper is still a good agent. Don't get me wrong. Even all these nerfs, don't get me wrong, is huge, but she's still like a good agent. I think she's right now she's better than Astra for the first time in a while. She's better than Astra.
Yeah.
So, that's what we say. And then now we go to her toxic screen. After cooldown, the activate increased from 6 to 8. Cooldown timer now starts when her smoke starts dismissing instead of when the activation trigger plays. The activation delay decreased from 1 to 0.8. Toxic screen is now yellow light indicated when it's the cooldown. Okay, so essentially it's like better UI.
Yeah.
It's a better UI and like it's just used better essentially.
Yeah.
The toxic
quality
screen,
of life.
Yeah, it's just quality of life, and then like the cooldown is increased a little bit by like 2 seconds, but it's not that crazy. So the poison, essentially is better quality of life. It shows you, it's like when you put both of them, it just showed green, but now when you get closer, it shows red, and then it shows the cooldown and all that. It's quality of life. Her snake bite now, the duration of it went from 6.5 to 5.5.
So it will not kill from full health anymore.
Yeah. So essentially, if they don't have an orb and they only have 1 molly, and they're doing the line,
stick the bomb.
You can stick the bomb.
So if you're at full.
If you're at 150 HP and you're sticking the bomb, and she only has 1 molly and no poison cloud, stick the bomb because it will not kill you.
Yep.
So
it still does make you vulnerable.
Yes.
And if the orb is there, it will kill you. But yeah.
Just keep in mind, if you know that person only has 1 molly and there's no orb, stick that shit because that will not kill you.
Yoru patch.
I mean, everyone knows about the Yoru patch. We'll just skim through it a little bit, but essentially his fake out is reduced from 1 to 2. So his fake footsteps, he only gets 1 fake footstep now. but the decoy is 150. So how this fake out works essentially, to us it looks like a Yoru fake out, but to other people it looks like a real person.
Yeah.
So that's why a lot of people would get mixed up from it. So I've seen I don't know if you see the plays on Twitter where people just actually fake walk and then they turn around and shoot. So that's actually, so be careful of that, honestly, because that's just one of the funny, because he's very gimmicky. He's not like he's not broken. This buff does not make him broken.
He's a gimmicky character.
He's 100%. So that's, and then if you're going against me, right, and then you throw your flash or you fake out and I shoot it, you don't get flashed. Only I do.
Yeah. So people are gonna be hesitant to shoot your shit.
Yeah. So that's why it's like so funny when you see all these fake outs. It's like shit. So you got to be a little bit more careful when you play against a Yoru, because that's a little bit. That's why you see people like,
does it only walk forwards?
Only walk forward and walk forward, and then like it's essentially like walking forward, so it looks like a bot. But people have acted like a bot, and then they just turn around.
Yeah, and then they just flick to you.
So that's the funny part about Yoru's thing. Essentially, that's what it is. It's really better than what he had before, which is the fake. It was much better. And then his gate crash. He gets 2 TPs now. So how it works is he can TP. It costs 200 credits now. And how it works is now you can fake it. Oh no, is this the? I'm sorry, is this the flash TP? No, this is the TP.
This is the TP.
Okay, the gate crash is TP. So how it works is now you can fake it. So if you're throwing a flash and then you fake it, you can fake it and be like, oh, no one's behind you. Then you can just enter a site. So it's very like big brain for you to enter a site now. I don't know. How do you think about this? The whole Yoru buff in general.
See, I haven't played against it yet. Like, a lot of this shit sounds like he's super overtuned right now. But, like you said, he's gimmicky. So people are going to find ways to play around it. I think it's just people are going to play him more now because of this. So we're going to be able to get, we'll have the resources to change him.
Yeah.
This time, if he is busted or not enough, or they didn't do enough. But, like, right now, just reading this, he seems, like, overtuned, but, like, I think we also just got to play against it. Because, like, other games, like Rainbow Six and shit, have similar shit to his, like, the fake out and whatever.
Yeah.
So, those operators aren't, like, busted or anything in those games. So I think it's just a matter of, like, people are going to have to adapt to the new kit.
Because this is the first time we've ever had anything like this in this game. So people are thinking it's like, oh, it's fucking crazy. Like, no, it's not really. His TP is definitely much buffed now, which it needed. And his fake out was much better. His flash, I think, is still the same. So that's good. So his Dimensional Rift, essentially his ultimate, it increased. So the duration of it is now from 8 seconds to 10 seconds. So you don't get revealed by enemies. Before
they could hear you though, right?
They can hear you. You're pretty loud.
Yeah.
And then you get like a little like, you know how you get like your screen turns blue.
Yeah.
That still goes, and you can hear him, but I can't see you.
Okay.
So I could literally be anywhere around your 360 per vision. So that's what happened in this one, and essentially, so the unequipped timer. So they would unequip and shotgun you and TP out.
Yeah.
Now you can't do that shit. And when it increased the timer, so pull out gun is from 0.6 to 1.2. So when you actually pull out your gun, it actually takes a little bit of time.
Yeah.
You can't just go in, shotgun,
you can't just shorty people and
yeah. So you can't do that anymore. So if you've done that, you essentially can't do that unless someone's like deaf and they can't hear you. So that's the only way. And essentially that's his thing. During his thing, he can place all his util. So he can flash, place his footsteps, do everything while in his ult.
Yeah, I think that
should have been on it before. I don't know why they didn't put it on
I think that's gonna be fine, because you could like flash and then come out of it and like essentially get around the pull out time.
His intel game is gonna be crazy. His ult, because you can if it's a 10 seconds, think about it, and you're running pretty fast. You're running at neon speed, by the way.
Yeah.
So his ult is running on neon speed. So if you're running and you could be like, all right, one U-haul, for example, if you're on Binary, you push a site, on A site, all right, there's one U-haul, one cubby on the right, and there's one in Bath. So, all right, I know where all of them are. We don't. That's how we can attack it. So, and then you can place util, and then you can flash it, and you can fake out and shit.
Yeah.
So his intel game is much better than before, which I really liked. So that's what I think Yoru right now is a B agent. He's not crazy. He seems overtuned as fuck.
I think
fine.
we just got to see how he plays in pro play
For sure. So again, this is not played in group stage. This patch is going to be played in maybe the main event. So you might see this in main event, not group stage.
Because like, if his pick rate doesn't go up in fucking main event, I feel like they might like make him busted next.
I don't see anything else they can do to buff him. There's literally nothing else they can do to buff him. I feel like where he is right now is he's a gimmicky agent, meaning you can't solo him, but unfortunately.
But the thing is, like, in this game, every agent has a gimmick, I guess. So, like, I don't know, like, you could say, like, Cypher's a gimmicky agent or whatever.
Because of his trips and shit.
Yeah, and, like, or Chamber's a gimmicky agent because he just, like, slows you and whatever. So I think it's just a matter of if his kit fits in with other people's. Because, like, I'm thinking about it, like, your rule with, like, an Omen could be insane.
Like if they just double TP and
no, like you get like a Paranoia into like, and then Yoru comes out of his ult or some shit like that's gonna be like the TikTok clips that are gonna be coming.
Yeah,
like I feel like it's gonna be a matter of figuring out what maps his gimmick works on and like what team comps his.
I think it's also because how the controllers are got changed drastically and the pace of it. I think this fits kind of Yoru's pace as well. Now this pace is much faster.
Yeah.
And then like now because of Brim's Stim Beacon where it increases speed, it's like I think it does increase his speed on his ult. So he even goes faster on his ult.
Runs like Mach 5.
Yeah. I saw the speed of it. Someone did a test on Neon and Brim. She runs like 0.3 seconds faster.
Oh wow.
Yeah, she runs like 0.3 seconds faster. So with the Stim Beacon, so she runs fast, but not too crazy. That's still a lot. That's still fast as fuck. She went from like, so they did it on Icebox, right? She ran like a speed of 3.2 without a Stim Beacon. That she ran again, it was a 3.5.
Okay, so it's not like insane.
It's not. People thought it was gonna be like Sonic. No. She's not Sonic, but she's still kind of be pretty fast. But I think right now, what with the Omen and Brim being in meta, in my opinion, they're gonna be meta now. They are gonna be meta. So then with them being meta and then Yoru getting like a really good change, if he bounces off with the controllers really well, I think that'll really help him with the changes that's going on. So this is everything. This patch right now, everything we said is a good patch. I don't see anything negative in my opinion.
The controller mains are going to be upset, but
yeah, if you're an Astro One Trek,
go outside.
Elbozo. So all right, and then we changing. Okay, so there's the map update now. So here's all the map updates, essentially. So on Ascent, so on A site, you know how it was on top of the bot? Or
no, B.
It's B.
And B main, the orb is now on, like, on the floor. It's not on the box.
On B main or A?
Yeah, B orb.
Oh, yeah. So, okay, it's on the floor now. So
because it was on top of that box, so you had to jump on it.
Yeah, now it's on the floor. Okay, so there's that. And then the Icebox. There's a lot. Actually, Icebox got the biggest amount of... I didn't expect this many changes. So you're not seeing. I advise you to go look at the screen, but how essentially the changes for B main. So you know how you can go through a tunnel and you go through the right side.
Yeah.
They changed the door. Now you're in front of it. So
yeah, so it's like a 2-lane thing rather than the corner.
Yeah.
Like that eliminates that angle that you could peek underneath the box.
Yes. So
now, you can't get a pick early off that, and you can't pre-fire that anymore.
Yeah. So now it's it's easier for attackers to attack B site now. Much
Thankfully,
easier.
that shit was fucking horrible.
Exactly. And then they made there's like a little cubby when you enter B side, and there's that last cubby on the left side. They made that wider. So now you made that wider, and then they pushed it up a bit. So it's a bit thinner and longer. Yeah. So now you can't really like hide in that corner. It's harder for you to hide in that corner and get away with shit. So thank fucking God they did that shit. What else did they change? Yeah, they did that. Xbox. Then yellow, the big yellow box in B main, they angled it, so they angled it 45 degrees essentially, and then they added a box. So
I like that.
It's a better hold. So if you're on B site, you're definitely holding it better.
Yeah, there's now 3 different angles you could hold from.
Yeah, so you can hold it on top of the yellow, you can hold it on the left, and then you can hold it on the right. So essentially, it's easier to hold, essentially on yellow, because that shit was impossible to hold. And then what do you even call this place?
B site.
I know, but what do you call this like tower?
The fucking like box, I guess.
So like, yeah.
Is there not a rope anymore?
There is.
Oh,
there
they moved it.
They went from here. So they
Okay,
essentially that whole B site, that whole container and the double floors, they essentially changed that whole shit. So
they
essentially
opened it up.
So there's a little crevice on the bottom now, so you can plant inside it now, instead of it like inside a tube. So they close a tube and they just made like a little gateway inside of it to plant, and then you can go on top. And then they, instead of being the middle of it open, they made the left side open.
So you could hold that from B main a
lot.
lot.
But funny
easier.
enough, they kind of fucked it up where I can plant the bomb. You know how we right when you enter kitchen after you're going up the rope?
Yeah.
I can plant it in there. So the bomb, I can plant it in there and then just wall it off, or just play post plant in there.
Really?
And I can play kitchen.
That's kind of insane.
Yeah. So
now
they made it like that, so that everyone's like, now you can plant in kitchen essentially. So that's fucking hilarious. So that's funny to go against. It was the yellow. I think what else did they change? Little container remove. Just a container, right? Oh, I forgot they removed the spam box. You know how you just when you about to plant right before B site, and then there's a box on the right. They removed that.
So it's gonna force you to have to burn a sage wall or something if you want to plant in the open there.
You either burn a sage wall or you plant inside the tube or like on the bottom of it. So they made it like
they want you to play the site more.
Yeah, because
before you were playing just the edge closest to B main and kind of playing around that. So I like this.
Yeah, so
they're forcing you to play like the actual site.
Yeah, so you probably gonna get spammed if someone's playing on there. And then snowman. So where snowman is, you know how there's like little tube area?
Mm-hmm.
That shit got completely closed. So now you can't go inside of it. It's a block now, like a door and a.
Now they have to hard clear that.
Yeah, you can't play inside tube anymore. So it's a hard block, and then like it's around it. You gotta play around it. So you can't just hide in there anymore. They changed it. We talked about that. What are they doing about kitchen? Oh, they made the table. Okay. So in kitchen, you know how there's a table you can stand on?
Yeah.
They made it longer and wider so you can stand on it better, essentially. Look, so you see how it's bigger?
Oh.
So it's bigger now and it's longer. So there's that. So they changed that in kitchen. And then in mid, so you know how they removed the box in the crest of B main? They moved it back into orange. So if you're on mid and you're peeking, and
so it's safe there. It's kind of safe to plant.
It's safe there, but you still have to like. I mean, imagine if I'm playing on site and I'm playing like on the other right side of orange.
Yeah,
I can still go around and I can still. If you're planning like on the crest of it, you can still play it. You can still be there. So
cool.
Keep that in mind. So mid, so you can't just peek mid because it's still blocked. The box just got moved back to orange, and now it's covered. And on mid, so in the boiler, they moved the thing to the right. So now it's on the right, and then you can't peek on the left side. You know how you can just like wiggle around?
Yeah.
You can't do that shit anymore.
Now you gotta commit.
You actually have to commit to the ramp.
Yeah.
You can't peek anything else, which is nice. I played Icebox, and it's nice. And they changed only one. They changed a couple things on A. Wait, before we continue A, what do you think about B site? How do you like it? Do you dislike it?
I like it. Like I said, it forces you to play the site because before, like B site, the only viable plant was like unless you were like clutching the round, the only viable plant for like a B take was on the edge. But now it seems that they want you to play inside the site more, so it's gonna force people to play up a bit, and it's giving the attackers a chance to play a bit more aggressive. Because before, if you planted B, you had to play very passive and just play for the post plant. But now it gives the attackers the tools kind of to play up a bit more and maybe take some more aggressive angles. Because it's safer. Like now, I don't know if you can wallbang that area underneath B site.
It's the same thing. Where it's literally the same box as before. So
no. So under here, like under the tube.
So no, I think it's too thick for it to actually be. So you can't wallbang that. Yeah. I think behind it, you see how the tube is, and behind it, like where kitchen is,
you could go through that.
I think you can wallbang that, but anything around it, you can't wallbang.
But like before, like playing inside the tube wasn't really viable because if someone saw you and like there was more than one person alive, everyone could just spam the tube.
Yeah.
So like now, like it's encouraging the attackers to be able to take these like more aggressive angles
and it actually creates space into B site.
Exactly.
So I think overall B site is 100% easier and better to hold and attack and everything. So it's much easier because it was terrible to go B. Nobody really went B site because of how bad it was, unless you're rotating. Okay, so on A site, there's not many changes, only a few.
I really like that box in the end. in the back.
You think so? You think the previous or the new one? Now?
The new one.
Okay.
Because the previous one, like, it didn't serve any purpose being there. Like,
You can just boost up and see the balcony. That's the only thing is.
Yeah, but like you don't even need that. You just move back into the corner and you could see it anyways, you know?
Yeah.
Like I don't understand the point of like having that there because you couldn't use that to jump up onto rafter. So like that didn't do anything. And like it hinders your movement, but people could still shoot you. Like you can't cover behind that.
Yeah.
So I like that they replace it with a full size box so you could like play behind it with a shotgun. Like it forces them to like clear backside now.
Yeah. So because I remember like in A site, you would just like wall and then you just back out. Like
Yep.
I think that's what the issue with Icebox was, is because you would just literally, it would be like a plant, play backside, and we'll play lineups and everything.
Yeah.
That was the issue with Icebox, and that's why I felt like Icebox was, I felt like hated on so much, is because it felt like, okay, we're gonna play and we're gonna run back. Where it doesn't really like reward you, or it doesn't really give you like any, it doesn't force you to, okay, I need to create space now.
Yeah, because like in the map design, there's so many different angles that the attackers have to clear when they're doing things that just hold, and there's so many different ways that the defenders can retake from that, like that you're right. That's the only, like if everyone plays back, then everyone has to look at is the bomb. And that's just how the map design like made you play. So now like it's definitely increasing the creativity
No, for sure.
the attackers could have.
I think, yeah, this box is definitely new. By the way, it's still wall bang. It's still like you can penetrate it. It's not like an actual solid box.
It's like the other green boxes
So
in the
if
game.
you're in there and they scan you, they can spam you.
Yeah.
Keep that in mind. So to keep that in mind. Okay, this is honestly the most underrated thing.
I really like this.
Okay, so if you guys know where they would head glitch right before attacking A site, and they would sit on that little ramp, and they would head glitch, and like they could see you pretty clearly, but you can only see like a slither of their head.
Yeah.
They removed that completely, so you can't head glitch anymore like that. So that is a massive change that I am.
You have to swing it wide. You have to
swing
commit.
it wide. Yeah, because you can't just gimmicky. Oh, I'm just gonna head glitch. And no, now you actually have to commit. They can't. They removed that, which is, in my opinion, the most underrated change they've done in this whole map.
Yeah.
Which is amazing. And the only thing they really changed was this as well. So in screens of A site where
They lowered the height of the doorway.
So now, because what people do is they would go on top of that little border,
And they have one way.
and they would shoot you, and they would shoot your legs, and then you just like you would low health before you even get onto site. So that is much better. So they can't just spam you like that. So, and then that's really it. It's just competitive update. Oh, so they did it again. We're competitive. So if you get Haven twice in a row, essentially, or 3 times in a row, you are guaranteed not to get that same map 4th time in a row. Essentially, that's what they're saying. So if you once got Icebox or Haven like 5 times in a row, you want to experience that again. They definitely changed this, so we're like, all right, you're gonna actually get a variety of maps to play.
I like that.
Yeah, and just a bunch of bugs. Like I mean, they already fixed the Astra and Yoru bug they had. I think everything is fine. It was just game and quality of life update. In my opinion, this is the biggest and the best update they've had in a very long time.
Yeah, I feel like personally, I thought the game was getting a little stale. I think the slow play style and how everything's been going has been kind of annoying. So I'm very happy that
I think so far, yeah,
I'll definitely be playing more.
Finally, I think the game is more fun now, in my opinion.
Yeah,
the game was not fun with an Astra meta of Astra and Viper just controlling everything. It was not fun. Now we see Omen and Yoru and Brim being played. It actually makes the game fun. You actually want to play the game. You actually want to change the pace up.
The agent variety's gonna be so much better.
Nobody wanted to play controllers because Astra and Viper are so boring to play. That's why nobody played controller.
Yeah.
But now you can play Brim and Omen.
Like, I'll start playing Omen again. I used to play him a lot.
Fuck yeah! People now you can now fill as a controller and it won't be hell for you. You can actually, and you can still top frag. Think about it. So if you care about kills, you can still top frag as an Omen or Brim now.
Yeah.
Because their kit is so good right now. So if you have an agent and you want to pick a smoke agent, I think those two are a good pickup right now. A Viper is still viable. Remember that.
Astra is still viable. Astra less so, but like
the control
in ranked, I think Astra is going to be fine. I think it's really just a matter of how they react to her in pro play.
Yeah. So I think that's the whole patch notes. I don't see anything else that's been going on. I think, yeah. I think so far W patch it out. Nothing bad. I don't
Cool.
know. What do you think?
I like it. I'll definitely like play the game more now.
Why? Yeah. Stop playing Elden Ring.
Yeah.
Alrighty, guys.
All right.
I'll talk to you guys later. Boo bye. Love you.